Yeah, what's the argument intended to show? Just that the existence of an all good God and the existence of hell are logically incompatible, or what?
Yeah, basically. Or like there's going to be like some like lesser means which satisfies justice, but also satisfies like minimizing harm or like suffering. And if this is the case, then anything beyond that is going to be considered excessive, which I would say, which is what contradicts the minimizing suffering aspect.
Wait, hold on. Can you syllogize it? That argument just seems invalid straight up, but let's hear the syllogistic form.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. I'll syllogize it so we can just make it valid, because I just don't usually run it validly, but let's run it. I'm trying to think of how I could phrase this. We could just say like, if God is maximally good, then God minimizes unnecessary suffering. If God is maximally good, then God administers proportionate justice. Like any justice that he permits is going to be proportionate to the action. We could say proportionate justice entails or requires that punishment correspond to the moral gravity of the offence. How can I phrase this? We could say like, I'm just trying to think now. What can we say for this? We could say that like under like if we take an annihilationist view, the annihilationist view permits proportionate punishment while terminating the existence of like an evil person. Therefore, it prevents like you think it prevents the further suffering.
No, I deny that it permits proportionate justice in regards to the moral verdict upon the action itself. I deny that. I take it that eternal justice is actually the proportionate punishment fit for a crime such as sin. I can give an argument for that if you want.
Yeah, sure. I'd be interested to know. Like, do you think wait before you do you think sin can be quantifiable?
What do you mean by that?
As in, like, for example, if you hold the position, for example, that like hell was created for Satan, right? Like, there's going to be sins are. Well, no, I assumed you would, but I'm saying like there are going to be sins which are worse than others, or can like lead you away from God.
I hold that all sins deserve eternal punishment. I can give an argument for that if you want. Right. With Euthemius' response to this type of objection.
No, like if you run it by me, I'll say about it, but I don't know what it is. His is in like in format now.
Yeah, so what this is just Euthemius' argument. I think it's a sound argument. You would agree that the punishment for a crime should be relative towards the dignity of the individual offended, right?
Sure, we could say that's kind of true in principle, although I don't think it necessarily holds up in all cases.
Okay, cool. So if we take it that the punishment for the crime should be relevant towards the dignity of the individual offended, you would also agree that God is the type of being which has maximal dignity, correct?
Yeah, of course.
So given the maximal dignity of God and how the punishment for a crime should be proportionate towards the individual offended, the dignity of the individual offended, it seems like if you were to offend God and commit some type of evil action, what you have to do, I'm not going to talk, what you have to do, right, just in the standard sense, would just say that you could have maximal punishment, and I take it that eternal punishment is the most relevant form of maximal punishment, right? This is just a standard type of response, and this actually fits our moral intuitions as well as we have reasons to talk about it in our conceptual scheme.
What moral intuition do you think it fits? Just out of curiosity.
Yeah, for example, we would say that harming a cat isn't going to have the same type of punishment relative towards the dignity of the person offended as something like harming a human. Like I take it that if you harm a human, you should be punished more than just like harming a cat, right? For example, and so if we take this principle and abstract it away from our standard intuitions and apply it to God, we just say that God has maximal intuition. Not maximal intuition. We say that God has maximal dignity, and it's going to be in alignment with our intuition. I don't understand what you disagree with here.
I disagree. Well, no, I disagree with two things. I think my problem with it is I think sin is definitely going to be like quantifiable, meaning that the level of sin that you commit has like different degrees of culpability. And the second thing I'm going to disagree with is like the idea that like it's necessarily all about the person who you're doing it towards. For example, I feel like you could make the same claim about in the UK, right? If you commit like some sort of like, or if you break the law, but you do it onto let's say to just like a regular person, your crime or your punishment is not as severe as like if you do it to the king. For example, if you speak out against the king, or if you say something like derogatory, it's more likely that you're going to get like put in prison, or that you're at least going to get some sort of punishment for it. And I would disagree with that concept overall, because I think it's more about the sin that you've committed in terms of your culpability or your moral responsibility.
So you take it that sin is quantifiable. Why should we adopt a given discursive matrix in regards to the joint carving language?
Sorry, could you mind repeating that?
Why should we adopt a given discursive matrix in regards to the joint carving language?
Oh, you mean you're basically asking me why you should adopt like the idea of it being quantifiable, or were you asking about the other proposition?
I'm asking why we should adopt a given discursive matrix. You know what that is?
Discursive nature? No.
Matrix. Yeah, so a discursive matrix is the type of thing where it's going to be an organized field of distinctions, relations, inferences and semantic rules that are going to generate this type of underlying field for which when we talk about these type of objects, right? Since you're saying that sin is the type of thing which is quantifiable, presumably you're going to be saying that sin is like this mind-independent, discourse-independent, like thing out there in the world, and such that our categories are able to adequately represent reality, right? So do you have an argument for that claim? Because what we can do is we can contrast this and just hold to categorical collapse theory and go for like this type of metaphysical fluidity in this sense.
Yeah, sure. So I think I get what you're saying now. Okay. Yeah, so I'm just looking at what a discursive matrix is, so give me a second to read it, and then I'll basically go gather it from there. Discriminate analytical concepts, guiding underlying networks of rules, social values, institutional power, or can be said defines the boundaries.
I mean, listen, if you're not well read up on it, what we can do is just say you concede, and then we can like move on from the point. But I take it that you're not even going to be able to like give me some justification.
For what specifically?
For the discursive matrix.
Well, yeah, of course. If I don't understand the concept, then I wouldn't. But it would depend on what you mean.
No, even if you understand the concept, I just deny that you're able to justify it.
Justify what? That's what I'm specifically asking you. Like, if I don't understand the concept of what you're saying of a discursive matrix, then like how am I going to?
Yeah, I already explained it. But listen, what we can do is you can just have you concede on the point.
Yeah, sure. But like a sentence doesn't really like help with the substance of the actual definition, does it?
So you do concede on the point?
On what point?
Yeah, on the point of like why we should adopt your given discursive matrix or unable to fulfill that burden.
Given that I don't know what it is, I don't know how to be able to concede. I don't know if that makes sense.
I just take a concession in this sense to just be saying that you're unable to fulfill the burden.
If you look at the standard debate norms, simply put, are you literally just going to ask me like to give an argument for like why it's the case logically that sin is going to be quantifiable?
No. We're questioning the meta rule. Yeah, we're questioning the meta rule for the means of justification for the discursive matrix that you adopt when you give the argument. And what a discursive matrix is just, again, it's this type of organized field of distinctions, inferential relations, semantic rules, and classical sort of contrast. First, the discourse is going to represent and evaluate a subject matter. When you say things like sin is quantifiable, you're literally saying that the discourse here is going to be able to adequately, evaluate the subject matter in regards to the type of joint carving language that you're talking about. Like you're saying there's a mind-independent, discourse-independent world, and our categories are going to be able to adequately represent these categories. And what we're doing here is we're not doing like a basic... What we're doing is we're not doing like a basic conceptual error theory critique, right? What we're doing is like a level behind that where we're questioning why we should even adopt the field, which is going to supply the structural space in which these expressions are going to acquire contrastive rules. But what you can do is you can just conclude.
Conclude? Oh, you're literally saying like skip over this, like skip over like the actual idea of the discursive matrix.
I mean, we can conclude the entire debate, or you can concede the point. We can move on.
Well, I wouldn't be conceding because I don't even know what you're asking me to.
Are you able to motivate or no?
If I don't know what you're asking me to motivate, I can give you an argument for why I think. Oh, I don't know if you're a Christian or not, so I think that would depend actually.
I'm asking if you're in a position to motivate what I'm asking you for.
Yes, but that's what I'm saying. What are you asking me to motivate? Because you're not just saying it's me giving an argument.
I've already explained it to you like 3 times.
It's going to be on my YouTube account. Yeah, it's for real. Oh, wait, what did you say?
I already explained it to you like 3 times.
Just because you give a definition doesn't mean I understand what the concept's going to be. Like what?
I think that definitions supply concepts. Like it's really informative in the sense that it provides a reduction of uncertainty. You at least know some of the terms in regards to the thing that we're talking about, right? And I think that's going to reduce the level of uncertainty in regards to what I'm giving you here, which is just the discursive matrix. It reduces the level of uncertainty in regards to the terminology being invoked. Now, whether or not it reduces,
you're just saying it's like an underlying network of rules. Like I'm not quite sure what you're saying.
Yeah, it's like underlying under the subject matter. It's a meta-linguistic thing.
Okay, so it's basically like a foundation that I have for the view. Is that what you're saying, basically?
Yeah, it's a foundation you have for the argument. But listen, we can conclude.
So wait, we can ask them, how would that be different from just asking me to like basically give an argument or motivate the fact that sin is going to be quantifiable in any like certain sense?
Questioning. Do you know what meta rules are?
Like not, I can give you like an exhaustive account, but I have like a rough idea. Yeah.
Okay, so what we're not questioning is the subject matter itself. What we're questioning is the way that you talk in regards to the subject matter. We're questioning the discourse.
So you're saying it's the rules about the rules?
Yep.
Okay, I think I'm getting what you're saying. I'll literally just like read something.
Well, listen, if you're not in a position to contend on this, my time's quite valuable, so we can just conclude.
Well, yeah, fair. Given that I've never heard of, I've heard of a discursive matrix, but I had no clue what it was. Then yeah, sure, you could.
Sorry about that. Have a good one.